Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Welcome back to the Ages of Rock podcast. You got Bill and Alan this week because Dennis had something else to do. I think the last time we recorded, Alan had something to do. So this week or next time we do, I'm going to have something to do. So you get the two of them. Anyway, with us tonight, back again. Actually, it's only been a year since you guys were on here last. I don't know if you know that or not, but it's been only a year. We've got Blackwood, a great metal band out of Nashville. Met them at Rockin' Pod last year and really enjoyed their music then. And then they put something new out. I get a little ding on my phone one day and it said Blackwood Music, and it said check out the new single release me, and I was like, holy shit.
Right on.
It's some good stuff, man.
Thank you.
So you just been working on that this last year? Is that it? Nothing else going on?
Nah, we've been doing quite a bit of stuff. Some of that stuff we've been working on for longer than last year, actually. Some of that we've been playing live quite a while, and then some of it we even had recorded. We just didn't have the right time. I don't know. We just kind of thought about it like a time thing, whether it was the right time to put it all. Yeah, that too. Between playing shows, that was hard to get all that together.
Well, it's good to have that problem, right? That you got to play a lot of shows. I mean, I know, twist your arm, right? It's a horrible thing to do, but you'll do it if you have to, right?
And nobody wants to do that full time.
And nobody wants to go to shows that often either. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah, that's the worst experience.
The ancient ones used to use that as a method of torture. They would just make you listen to music that you liked with your friends.
I tell you, wise men. At least I'm not going to stuff I don't like to go to. That's a good thing. So you guys been hanging in the Nashville area, or are you starting to branch out a little bit? We are.
We're not really doing anything in Nashville. I mean, we got a couple things. Well, we got one thing this year. It's this weekend, actually. And most of the time we've been in Kentucky. We've been in Alabama. I think that's the only other states, but several cities outside of Tennessee. So we're starting to branch.
Cool.
That's our goal.
Well, when you get on 65, it goes north too, right? So go north. go through Tennessee, through Kentucky. When you hit Indiana, we're on, buddy.
We're working on some things. I don't know if Indiana I don't think that's on the list, but it definitely has been one we've looked at for sure. But it's to get there. That's the thing.
Yeah, straight shot.
Yeah.
Cool. So talk about the new record. How did it come about? It's been over time, I guess, from what you said. Some of that's been around for a day or two, right? So talk about that a little bit.
A lot of the songs that are on the album, let me start over. We had previously recorded our EP. We had 5 songs. We released them as singles on all the streaming platforms. And then we were looking for the last songs that we really wanted to record. And it just so happened, as we were taking a look at the set list and what we had left, there was a really good story to tell. And we all decided on in order for the songs, and actually Release Me, the title track, was not intended to be a title track or even a track. That was something we all got together one day and we're just jamming some riffs, and Keith ran up with that riff out of the blue, and we wrote that song pretty much in one night. And old David was in the back going, "Hey, I think this means we need to do an album. This is the song for it." And then the next day, after I had the lyrics done, we had album artwork for it, and it's just been just momentous after that. We just kept the momentum up and pushed it. Shot a music video, had that released as well, and personally, I'm just really excited that we've got an album that someone could listen to. You know, you can take a look at one song or two songs that you like, but if you want to listen to the entire album start to finish, it does tell a coherent story, and I've always really enjoyed that when bands would do that.
That was part of what we thought about whenever we were putting the track listing together. It was, I'm thinking about this all the time. Like, this is just all that's on my brain, this band. So we had decided we were going to put out the EP album. I would call it an album because, why not? And I thought, how are the songs present? Like, what's the order, right? And for whatever reason, I came up with this order in my head, and it's exactly the same as what Chris, he had been thinking about it too at practice. I said, I didn't present it. I just said, what do you guys think? And Chris said,
that's what I got.
Chris said an answer, and I was like, well, that's the same thing I thought. What do you two think? And we roll with it. But it's lyrically, it's 7 songs, and if you listen to it lyrically, I mean, this is kind of crazy to say that we haven't, we did it on purpose. We didn't really do it on purpose. It just worked, It's the natural creative process.
The accidental concept album.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, a concept. It wasn't designed at all. It just happened.
So what is the actual, it's kind of funny because I'm looking at it and I've listened to it on iTunes. So is that the track list? Is that the track listing or is it scrambled? So Deliver is the first track.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right.
And that's the other thing that probably threw you off is that we're promoting the last song.
Yes, that's
first.
why when you said the single, I was like, wait a minute, dude, something. Well, it wouldn't be the first time though that iTunes has decided
about that
to do some wacky shit with something, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, now I got nothing.
Yeah, we talked about that at the jam room, one night. We talked about that. We're like, which song is going to go first? And honestly, it was the easy choice because the most recent. We wrote that song and a current one we're working on. It's getting pretty fiery. That we might record soon, I think. And I think we're getting pretty close to anyway. But we wrote those 2 songs, Release Me and this new one, the same night. And we that's all we did that night for, a couple hours. But we decided, I don't know, it was just more so because it was new. It was the new one nobody had heard. If you'd seen us live, you've heard, well, if you've seen us live in the past few months before it came out, you've heard all that stuff. So, but it wasn't available to everybody until we put out this new one. So, and that's pretty cool too. Like, you try to do singles because you don't want to take up too much of somebody's time and they're not going to listen to yada, 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 yada. But honestly, the numbers we're getting back are pretty, there's a couple outliers that are getting more attention, like literally 2 of them, Release Me and You Said. But for the most part, everything is getting listened to. And then the old stuff's getting listened to. So I think we argued about should we put out a full length or a half length or what the heck, whatever we're going to do. But I think it worked in general the way we did it with singles prior, that were part of the first full release or EP, and then doing this, thing, all at once. I think that nobody's complained, I'll tell you that. Nobody's like, well, I need another one. No, you got 7. Listen to the rest. We haven't had to argue that.
Well, don't sell yourself short because, back in the day, Van Halen records were 28 minutes. So,
yeah, well, that's why,
so
when I tried to determine the what we're going to call it, on the internet, is this the EP or an album? I was like, it's right in the middle. It's gray area. Let's just go album. It's easy.
You can call it whatever you want. It's your baby.
Yeah. Listen to our pile of.
I've never heard a band promote a concept EP, so maybe you could be the first.
Whoa. Mind blown. We've screwed up.
Concept EP. The
we're changing directions, guys.
Even better, Chris.
There you go. So what are you guys? You're not. You said you aren't playing in Nashville very much, and you're playing around. So do you keep a pretty good following that way? I mean, is it just territorial or I don't know, territorial is not the right regional. That's the right word. Is regional. Territorial sound kind of
Yeah.
crass, but
No, it's our territory.
so you guys go to battle every night. Gangs get together and you
Yeah,
figure
don't
out which
show
is.
up. Don't show up. We're like cats, man. Don't show
I throw
up.
lamps.
Somebody's gonna pop a cork. Yeah, that
I
wouldn't
mean,
be
well,
good.
I mean, we've had really good response in Kentucky. When we played in Kentucky, we've had really good response. Alabama is like Huntsville. We play in a club called Shag Nasty's down there. They cater to. They're all about the music, so it's great. People come there and know they're going to hear a band. I think almost every night of the week they got a band there. So it's a really cool setup down there at Shag Nasty's. And when we first got in there, we were excited as heck to get there. So because we'd been
One cool
trying,
thing, Well, one cool thing happened at Shag Nasty's. We were playing outside on their large stage, right at the end of last summer, I believe it was, and we were up on the stage sound checking, and I look over and they're opening up the door to let people in, or the gate that leads into the patio area, and just about everybody that walked in had Blackwood shirts on. So and then they started buying more shirts. So I'm like, so it just kind of goes to show you, we're making a little splash down there. So that's pretty cool.
That's the coolest thing is like, remember, like, I think it was, we played our first indoor show there because they got indoor stage, outdoor stage. They go all year. And if the weather's nice, you're outside on the big stage. And it was cool and it sucked because everybody showed up wearing our merch. And then we sold like one shirt that night because everybody already had it.
Yeah, I think it was
So
another
great.
time maybe I
before
got
that.
it backwards. 'Cause
No,
we
no,
came
you
back-
had it right. You had it right. It was
Yeah,
like the
that
second time we
happened
played
twice.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty insane.
yeah.
It's a good feeling. And
It's a
makes
good
you know
problem
that-
to have.
Yeah, it lets you know you're doing something right and you're reaching people and they're, supportive of it. So
That's cool. I got a question about merch then. So I know that there's been a lot of stuff in the media recently about more venues wanting parts or, a percentage of merch. Do you guys have ever deal with that? Ever been an issue for you guys? Or is it like,
Unfortunately, we haven't reached those size clubs yet. Well, that's
Okay,
our goal,
well,
though. We want that problem.
yeah, I just didn't know if it was a problem even where you guys are, because I could see where it might be,
We
Even
haven't ran into
locally,
that
I don't think locally. I think maybe. I mean, there's a certain company that owns a lot of clubs, or not owns, but operates a lot of clubs. There are a couple of those around here locally, and I'm sure that's part of the game. But you know that I don't want to go down that road. But you know it all about that. I'm sure you've researched.
Well,
Which is cool. I mean, it's fine. There's a lot of cool things. Like the bands typically get paid well. They just have to give up a piece of this, So it's, and if they have somebody operating it, great, fine, pay that person. The percentage should be a certain amount because, I mean, we know our cost and we're not trying to rip nobody off. I mean, if our shirt's $20, we're not leaving there rich. Let me tell you, we're not. we're getting enough to put it back into the band.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, merch is tough. That's for sure. Yeah, and $20 shirts compared to $50 shirts, there's a big difference. That's
Big
insane.
difference.
I mean, you
Yeah,
to
and
those
that's when are you talking like stadiums when you go to like
yeah. I mean, it's
but you see they have, I guess where all that comes from in clubs is from the stadiums. So when you go to a stadium, you see a $50 shirt, they're paying a merch manager to divvy out and calculate how many shirts and whatever's there. And then they're paying the person or persons to sell that. So that doesn't come from the venue. That comes from, the what they sold at that place. I guess maybe like a beer stand. Maybe they get the same kind of deal. I don't know. But, I mean, it makes sense if there's people manning it for you and they have to count out to you at the end of the night. I got no problem with that. It's just as long as the percentage is reasonable. A lot of
And
the
fair.
argument is they say it's off the top total, which it never should be off the total because that's not profit. That includes cost, So it should always be off of the actual profit number, like a percentage of your profits, not a percentage of your total sales,
Yeah. Yeah, and there's been some of that stuff too that I've seen happen in a couple places, and that's just like you said, that's just wrong. I mean, you can't.
And I think that's where the big issue
Yeah.
has been coming from. But I mean,
Yeah.
from what I've heard, fortunately, we don't have that problem yet, but we're looking for it.
Yeah.
When you get offered that first 360 or a 360 deal, you'll know.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
a
go.
whole nother thing. Yeah.
Yep.
That makes those merch fees even worse.
So I don't know what a 360 deal is. I haven't heard that. So I'm not in a band, so I don't know that stuff. So what is that?
Where a band would get signed, and they would, I guess the label would manage everything. So they would manage your merchandise, your performances, your sales of anything, your music, whatever. And so they get a percentage of everything. I don't know. I mean, I guess if they helped you design your merch, maybe there could be, a fee for that. But it's not really like that. I mean, if a lot of guys, they would sign it and they own a piece of everything. That's 360.
Got ya. Learn something. There you go. Today's educational lesson by David.
Yeah. The more you know.
The more you know. There you go. Have we, I don't remember last time, we talk about influences for you guys, like who influenced you in the, to get into music and stuff like that? I don't remember if we chatted
can talk about it again.
Yeah.
This is one of Keith's favorite things. And I'm not beating up on him. I'm serious. He loves this part. So, and I like hearing it. I like hearing it.
There you go.
Because it makes me think, oh, okay. It reminds me. We love these. We get to know each other again.
Well, what'll happen is if you ask me, it's going to be I'll probably add some new ones that I'd forgotten the previous time.
Yeah, so Keith, 60-second influence pitch. Go.
It's a moldable thing. Like you can always be influenced by something new, so it's never an old question,
I mean, sometimes it could be, something you're currently listening to and really digging. So, I mean, I'm all over the board though when it comes to music, and especially, now. So it happens. But yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few new ones in there, and it might not be. I don't know.
What are they? The suspense is killing me.
You mentioned Van Halen. I'm a huge Van Halen fan. I always have been. And again, I'll say it again. I don't play like none of these people. I just pick up, you just get inspired by them, I guess. But love Eddie Van Halen. Love Neil Sean from Journey. Gosh. See, now I'm drawing a blank. I don't know, Warren DeMartini. I like a lot of the 80s guys, but there's some, newer stuff that I like to. I've always liked the band Seven Dust. I don't think they've ever released anything I don't like. I've always liked them, even their newer stuff. Some Kill Switch Engage. I really like that band a lot. But I also like, more mellow stuff. Steely Dan. I mean, I don't know, Doobie Brothers, stuff like that. It's got just good songs and, something to hum to, it's always inspirational to me, whatever it may be. I got turned on to it, and I know this is probably, it's probably old school, but how do you pronounce it? Hoser? Have y'all heard of that?
Hosier.
Yeah.
Hosier.
Yeah, it's
Hosier.
Hosier.
Okay.
Hosier.
yeah, it's not that old school.
No, I'd heard it. It seems like I remember hearing the name at some point, but I actually heard a song the other day, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good. Who is this?" I heard it on XM radio, and looked up, and I was like, "Oh, I never heard of those guys, or maybe I have. I don't know." But anyway, really, it was deep. It was pretty cool. I liked it. Would I go out and buy the record? Probably not, but I enjoyed the song, and I got something out of it.
Hosier is played daily in my home. It's one of the few songs that my 2-year-old daughter will go to sleep listening to.
Okay. Yeah, there's just that one song. I really, really thought it was pretty good, man. It was pretty deep. But yeah, I listen to everything, man. It could be anything, as long as it's good, not rap or new country.
Here,
Man, it's
here
good
we go.
Well, to your point about you probably won't go out and buy it. There is so much good music out there. It's impossible to buy it all. Nobody has
Yeah.
enough money for that. So
Well,
no,
technically, I am buying it if I got a subscription to XM, so I'm sure they're getting a piece of it somewhere.
yeah, they're getting their
Oh,
point
yeah,
zero zero
yeah.
seven cents.
Getting a little piece.
that piece.
Now, I want
Yeah.
to jump back to Van Halen here real quick.
Yeah.
Are you a Gary Sharon Van Halen, a Sammy Hagar Van Halen, or a David Lee
boy.
Roth Van Halen?
He's
Well, I
clearly
started out-
Sammy Hagar.
I definitely started out as a Dave fan many years ago. So that was my introduction to him back when I was a kid, and then of course you're young, and Sammy comes on board. You're shocked, but you still like it because you liked all the Sammy stuff. I mean, I had the VOA cassette. I loved it. So it was kind of at the time, and still, it was a great match. And I like both. And again, another influence, I guess, is Nuno Betancourt. I love Extreme. I remember seeing them opening up for Alice in Chains in a tiny little club in Raleigh, North Carolina. Nobody knew who Alice in Chains were. So it was first time seeing Extreme, blown away, and Alice in Chains blew everybody's mind. But anyway, so I've always been a Gary fan too. So I didn't like that record as much. There's a couple of songs on it. It's pretty cool. But other than that, I'd prefer the Dave and Sammy era. So yeah.
More so than Sammy.
Well,
No, I'm a Dave guy, man. He's just there's a certain attitude.
There, he said it. He said it.
That had to be Dave and Van Halen had to be in place in order for Sammy to step into something. So
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Speaking of
Oh,
wholehearted,
no.
the
Wholehearted. Oh
The-
my
Oh
gosh.
no, they were both as big
I
as
totally
each
got
other.
that in there. I wasn't even trying. That makes it even better.
Man.
On the Gary Sharon album, honestly, and this is probably Van Halen sacrilege for me to say this, but the only song that I did not like on that album is the song that Eddie Van Halen sang.
yeah, I wasn't too impressed with it either. I mean, just to be honest, my favorite song on that record though was "Fire in the Hole." I just thought
Bam.
what a great riff. It's just great all the way around. Killer Van Halen song. I don't care who was singing it. It could have been Sammy, Dave, it didn't matter. But that riff and that song was just so cool. But yeah, that's my thing on Van Halen. Dave first, Sammy second, and Gary Sharon only a few songs.
So are you going to make it to the Sammy? Are you going to make it to a summer show then this year?
I'd love
I
to
am.
see that show. Actually,
Yeah.
it'd be cool. It'd be
See
real
them when
cool.
they come to Bridgestone.
I think,
Yeah,
aren't they
I'd love
going to
see
be
it.
at Deer Creek or Ruoff, whatever it is?
Yeah, they'll be at Ruoff. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's the Q95.
Bill and I have lawn passes for that, so
if
Cool.
they ever arrive.
I will probably be there for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got a
that'd
great
be
deal up here for our amphitheater. It's up in Indianapolis. $239 every show.
Oh wow.
Lawn seat.
Oh, a year?
Oh, that's cool.
the whole summer. Yeah.
Oh, I
Oh,
would.
wow.
I would
You go to
buy
every
that in a
show.
heartbeat.
Yeah. The only
That's a killer
sh-
deal.
There
Last
are
year,
a
the
few
only-
shows on the the band has the option to say no, we don't honor the lawn passes. I think maybe Dave Matthews might be one of those bands that did that, which is no loss for me.
I
Or
did that
anybody
for
else.
him. He didn't have to. I did that for him. See, that's the challenge I
Not
have there is
coming anyway.
yeah. So I have I have a 25-year-old that 27-year-old actually that he's a big Dave fan, and every year he's like, "You want to go up?" No. No. If he was in my front yard, I'd call the cops. So
Oh.
I'm sure as hell not going to a show.
I at least have to take a peek.
No, I would not peek behind that curtain. Nope. Mm-mm. got nothing there.
That's funny.
Nothing at all. But it's a great deal. It
is cool.
So the bad part is it's about an hour and 15 minutes away. So I'm like running up and on the highway for like.
Shut your face, dude. It's like a 4-hour drive for me.
I know.
But I'm still gonna do it.
It's a blast.
My son lives up there, so I have a free hotel.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah. But there's a place up in Indy too called the Hi-Fi. You need to check out the Hi-Fi and try to get you guys booked in there.
Is that Hi-Fi Annex?
It's called the Hi-Fi. Yeah, the Annex is the outdoor side. So what you were talking about earlier about having, some venues have an indoor area, then some have an outdoor area.
Oh, okay. They
have the same deal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I haven't been to a show indoors yet there. But the outdoor thing I've seen, we saw Fozzy there last year, Blackstone Cherry. Who else did we see? We've seen Hairbangers Ball, which is kind of a locally or out of the Chicago area. It's kind of a heavy metal tribute act kind of thing. Great band though. Yeah. Really good guys. And good guys too. But yeah, it's a cool venue. And they pack them in there. They get a lot of stuff going on in there. So
yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. It'd be good to get some new. I mean, it'd be nice to see some new people come through there that, but they play a lot. It's a lot of different music there. Like some people I've never heard of before that are coming through there. No, don't recognize their name. Don't even know what kind of music it is. But, sometimes you just got to take a chance on a show and go and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because they're not like expensive shows. They're not too
live
bad.
music is always, it's way different than listening to it at home for sure. I mean, I keep thinking, I don't know why, but it keeps coming back in my mind. I saw Bush at the Ryman last year, and about every week that pops into my mind because Bush is a good band. I always thought they were a good band.
Yeah, they are.
But it never hit me like it hit me when I saw them live, man. Like, that was like, whoa. The light show, just the whole thing it was crazy.
Have you heard of their new stuff?
That's what we saw, yeah. Or what is newer than that?
They have something besides 16 Stone?
No. Last couple of I know. Well, it was
the latest album, that's what they were
good days go by.
Yeah.
I tell you, some of the one of the last records they released was actually surprisingly heavier than I would imagine.
That's the one they were touring. I don't remember what it's called, but that's what they were touring.
Yes,
we were like right up under the balcony, like right at the edge. So
that's great. Those are great seats.
Perfect.
Of course, there's not a bad seat in the Ryman.
Yeah, I would.
No, it's actually not.
I wouldn't like to sit farther back than I was, but I guess they do have the speakers underneath. So.
Yeah.
If you're in the balcony, I've sat both on the floor and up top in the balconies. I mean, it's kind of a straight shot. You don't feel like you're in a nosebleed section, in other words. So
Gavin, even he ran up there. He ran up there and interacted with the audience in the balcony. That was Amy Lee showed up. It was cool. It was
Gavin is good about doing that. I saw Bush at Rocklahoma several years ago, and he ran out in the crowd and just damn near ran me over. Like, hey, dude, okay. Remind our listeners the name of your concept EP and tell us about your social medias and your websites and all of that fun technical stuff.
So our new release.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you there, Chris?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I can hear you.
I was going to say our accidental concept EP is called Release Me, and you can find that anywhere that you listen to your music. But the most expeditious path would be to go to blackwoodrock.com, which has the links to our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok, any upcoming shows, all of the streaming platforms, whether it's Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, anything like that. And you can also dig into our earlier EP too once you consume Release Me.
Speaking of consuming Release Me, I am one of the co-owners of the internet radio station A to Z Radio, and we will be playing your material on that station as well.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Right on.
And I will continue to play it on my iPod.
That's good.
Awesome.
However you want to play
on my phone.
Play it and share it. We like.
Have you got? Well, one thing we didn't talk about. Have you done any? Are you doing any vinyl at all? I mean, is it just too expensive to do? But
It's
you,
so
Vinyl,
expensive.
I got the price, but if we're gonna do music videos and we're gonna do,
Yeah.
putting out music, it's really cool. It's really cool. I don't disagree that it's really cool to have that, a physical piece to touch and play and how that whole thing works. But
Maybe one
cost-wise,
day.
not cost effective.
cost-wise right now, no. Maybe if we're headlining the NX up there, yeah, then we probably have some vinyl for you.
Maybe one day.
I'm there, dude.
All right. Well, we thank you all for coming on, take some time tonight to come on our show. And everybody visit 80sofrock.com. Check out past episodes and social media links. And until next time, peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.